All right, let's just get right down to it. Week 1 college football. Let's start with the two competitive games with ranked teams, Clemson, Georgia, and LSU, Wisconsin. I did notice a little bit of, well, first of all, I noticed that the Clemson, Georgia total crashed for sure. Did you get sharp action on the under there? And I noticed that the Clemson line went down a little bit as well. It was about, I think, 8 or 8.5. Now it's down to 7 juiced. So have you been getting sharp action on Clemson and the under?
Yeah, well, right now on the Georgia, we're sitting at 7.5, and basically it's all one-sided action right now. The count's probably, it's about 2.5 to 1 right now in terms of money on Georgia, almost 3 to 1. But it's not particularly sharp action. It's just action that's come in. -7 was mostly. I think we threw -7, -15 on it, stuff like that. Sitting at 7.5, we've taken action both ways. So I can't see. It would take someone real sharp to come in to move off the 7.5 where we are right now. You are correct in terms of the money coming in on the under there. Sharp action came under 57. Actually, was the first big bet. We dropped straight down to 56. We still got money on the under, and all the way down to 54.5 where we are right now. We've finally taken two-way action. So again, that's a case where we kind of, you'll open up a number and you see where it lands, and you try not to get to hurt too far, in terms of falling down and finding what the right number is. So we took money, like I said, under 57 on that game, and we've kind of found the landing spot at 54.5. So for opening week, these numbers are going to be a little softer in terms of someone's opinion being greater than ours perhaps, or not, but them just having the money to back it up. LSU was the other game I think you touched on.
Yeah.
We got LSU money probably about, again, 2.5, 3 to 1 there. The total were pretty much split, so we're sitting good out there. We took money under 50.5, or 51, and over 50, so we're sitting at 50.5 right now. But nothing particularly sharp on either of those two games right now, Peter, other than the under on the Clemson game.
All right, but the public seems to be leaning towards the favorites then.
Yeah, in this case right now, yeah. But, again, there's not a ton of action on these two games, actually, so far.
And then let's discuss, the number 1 and the number 2 teams in the country, both huge favorites in Week 1. Alabama -26.5 over West Virginia. Is the public once again coming in on Alabama? Because I know that in recent years they have done that and done well with it.
Yeah, it's a big number to be laying. We opened up at 25.5 and took some money there on Alabama. Moved it to 26 where we're sitting right now. Since we moved to 26, really haven't seen much action either way. The total as well, just not a whole bunch of action. That game's an only dry one. It's interesting because you take a look at volume, and I know a lot of people will automatically think that big name teams going to attract a lot of volume, but that's not necessarily the case. They may, on game day, they may attract a lot of public action, but right now, in terms of looking at sharp action, you're going to get sharp action on games like games where there's just value for these guys. A little high volume game right now. We've got like Boston College, Massachusetts. That's one of our highest volume games. Ohio State Navy is a really high volume game, but it's not. Those aren't teams like Navy's not a real public team. Massachusetts, not a real public team. But you would think that a game like that we touched on, we should get a little more action like Alabama, but no, not at this point.
But the public, the money that you have taken from the public is definitely favoring Alabama, or no?
Yeah, again, it's only about 2 to 1, and it's not a ton of action. Like, it's not something that I would say is, a real go against the public play right now. Right. Again, it's like 2 to 1, so it's still early.
Okay, and then Florida State, Oklahoma State, 17.5 points, I believe, is the line right now. Top team in the country. Is the public piling in on Florida State?
Yeah, this is a case where, again, it's like 3, almost 4 to 1 Florida State money, and they're taking money at the minus. I had guys actually, public guys buying it down to 16 when it was 16.5 and 17, stuff like that. We've got a lot of money at 17 as well. Buying it down to, when we moved to 17.5, we had guys buying it down to 17, laying the juice on that. So not a ton of sharp money on this one either right now. It is definitely one-sided. Like I said, about 3 to 1. Total's got almost no action either on this one. So it's very one-sided, but again, the sharps haven't come back the other way yet.
So public leaning on Alabama and Florida State, and no response either way from the sharps on those games. All right, Brent, thanks so much. And now let's just get to everyone's favorite part of the show, notable sharp action. Maybe we'll make a special graphic for this part of the show from now on. Notable sharp action. Everyone loves it. What can you tell us about notable sharp action that you've taken for college football Week 1? And right now it is Thursday afternoon, so as of Thursday afternoon.
I would say right now I've got action both on the total and the side of the UCLA-Virginia game. They're actually laying. I've got sharp money came in on 20.5 on UCLA. We're sitting at 20 +21 right now, and that's, we haven't moved any further on that simply because we've got a lot of public money coming back on the +21 on Virginia, so we're sitting there. But our count our count favors Virginia, but our money favors UCLA because it was sharp money that came on UCLA, which is a slightly bigger bet. Also, the under in that game right now we're sitting at 54. The number's pretty much gone in terms of the sharp action that did come in, which was under 57. So that game right there was UCLA minus 20.5 and under 57 is sharp, and that the side is a sharp public split, which is nice. So we're sitting here in a situation where we've got probably about twice as much money, maybe 3 times as much money on Virginia, and we're sided with the sharp. So that's a good position for us to be in.
Wow. All right. Let me ask you about that for a second. That's an unusual situation, right? Usually when there's a big favorite, the sharps are liking, the public's liking it or loving it as well. But here you have the public actually coming in on Virginia as the underdog.
Yeah, no, that is interesting that they're, again, the thing is, with week 1 in college football, this is the time where opinions are going to vary more than anything else. And you look at, Virginia, they should be, a decent team that, and they're sitting at home getting 3 touchdowns. Well, how can you not like that? So, obviously, the Sharps like the other way at the 20.5.
There we go, UCLA minus 21, sharp side. What else can you tell us, Brent?
Another one would be Northwestern. Northwestern's at home to California. I got a lot of public money on California. California's they're catching 11 now. The sharp money came in on Northwestern minus 10.
Wow.
Just a lot of public money on the over that game. Nothing really sharp, but the public drove that number up from about 61 and a half all the way up to 63 where we are right now. But Northwestern minus 10 was definitely a sharp play. Georgia Southern, there's an ugly game for you. It's Georgia Southern plus 21.5. That was sharp action. They're at NC State, sitting at 20.5 right now for that line. And what else we got here? Ohio is another game. Again, you're not always going to get marquee teams who say, that's a team I'd love to go and bet on. But Ohio at Kent State, Ohio plus 3.5 was a sharp play. Now, again, the numbers kind of washed up in terms of Kent State minus 2.5. I'm not going to recommend anyone buying it to 3 or anything like that, but just for, in case the line moves up based on, the public action driving it out, because we are about 2-1 in terms of bet count on Kent State, my apologies. Kent State minus 2.5. Sharp money was Ohio plus the 3.5. And actually, Texas was sharp money. It was at 23.5. We're sitting at 25.5 right now. Texas is at home to North Texas, so they're a really big favorite, minus 25.5. Sharp action was 23.5, Peter. Last one I'll give you would be the total, the UTEP New Mexico game. Under 67 was sharp. We're looking at 63.5 right now as a total. So again, that total's moved a whole lot. Haven't got a drop back on the over, though.
Brett from BetDSI. There we go. Classic show to kick off the college football season 2014-2015. Thanks so much, Brent, and we'll talk to you again next week.